Have you ever laid awake at night, replaying a conversation in your head, stressed about what someone else thought of you? To cure that anxiety, we'll look at the personal notes of a man who lived 2,000 years ago, Book 3 of Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. Before we go further, tell me in the comments about a specific situation where you catch yourself overvaluing someone else's opinion. It really makes you wonder, why does a passing thought in a stranger's head have the power to ruin the actual life I am living? Marcus Aurelius observed a bizarre human contradiction. He pointed out that while we naturally love ourselves more than anyone else, we often weigh our neighbors' opinions of us far more heavily than our own self-assessments. Marcus understood public scrutiny better than most. As the Emperor of Rome, he was the most visible and judged man in the known world, managing the expectations of an entire empire. Living under that constant gaze forced Marcus to treat the third book of his Meditations as a survival manual for reclaiming mental real estate from the volatility of public opinion. Waste not what remains of life in consideration about others. You are neglecting other work if you busy yourself with what such a one is doing or thinking. The Stoics broke down the psychology of how an opinion affects us. They started with fantasia, or impressions. When someone whispers about you, that external judgment is initially just raw, neutral data hitting your senses. The shift happens during syncatathesis, or assent. An external opinion can only become an internal injury if you actively agree with the evaluation and adopt it as your own. Stoic psychology treats the mind as a unitary ruling center. Because another person's judgment exists only within their own reasoning faculty, it cannot bridge the gap to damage your mind without your active cooperation. If you want to train your mind to build these defenses, you can listen to the full meditations using the Audible 30-day trial link down in the description. Suffering is the byproduct of validating external noise. We experience pain only when we take those outside observations and choose to turn them into internal truths. Take a second right now. Mentally visualize the specific person whose opinion currently drives your anxiety. This is the Stoic circle of control. You must draw a strict boundary between internal agency and external noise. Their judgments belong outside your jurisdiction. Fixating outside your jurisdiction abandons your defenses, inviting the noise to dictate your internal state. Micromanaging how others see you is an endless, draining effort. Restricting your focus to your own boundary creates a stable point of rest that remains independent of external chaos. Mastering this audit allows you to move through highly judgmental environments without absorbing the toxicity. You see the pointing, but you don't feel the weight. Worrying about an external judgment is a logical error. It is an attempt to control a reality that exists exclusively inside a stranger's head. If this mindset shift helps you, hit like so we can share this philosophy. So, what is the exact move I make in the immediate moment when a wave of social anxiety or judgment hits me? First comes the spark, then the choice, then the motion. Rule the second, rule the rest. The initial spark of someone else's opinion is outside your power. However, the secondary choice, the act of assenting to that spark, belongs entirely to you. When you lack clarity on what you want, your mind will constantly focus on the validation you are missing. By reclaiming that choice, you reach the state the Greeks called ataraxia, a serene calmness and freedom from mental disturbance. This marks the difference between living as a servant to a crowd's expectations and moving through the world guided by your own reason. Your worth is an internal metric, never a democratic vote. Tomorrow, we will look at how Seneca applied these boundaries to his own life at the center of Roman power. Subscribe to Ancient Wisdom Daily so you don't miss it.